Guys, what is going on? It's Birdman here. Just got a quick little video for you today. Well, we'll try to be quick, but I do tend to ramble. Just wanted to spitball with you guys about something that was recently aired, the finale for The Walking Dead Season 8 and the end of the All Out War arc. Just have some general thoughts on the episode, on the Season 8, and then also on the future, what Season 9, 10, etc. will bring. So we got some thoughts on that, and they've just been running through my head, so I figured, let's go ahead, let's set up a video, let's do something, let's discuss. I want to know what you guys think about it, what you guys think of where the series is going and where it's been, etc. I know I have a lot of Game of Thrones fans here. I don't know if there's any Walking Dead followers, if there's new people here, new to the channel. Hello, thank you for stopping by. Without further ado, guys, let's go in. I just want to give you some general thoughts on the episode. Not like a really in-depth review, but just some things that crossed my mind while I was watching it and then immediately after. Okay, so first of all, just going into general thoughts of the episode. I've been seeing a lot of people who are a little disappointed by the finale. Maybe it wasn't as exciting as they're expecting. I don't really know why they were so disappointed. I'll have to go, and if you guys were disappointed by the finale, please leave your thoughts, because my thoughts on it were terrific. One of the best finales I've seen on a season of The Walking Dead, and the reason why I'll get into it here is just because they didn't have to cop out. They didn't have to kill a few people or kill 2 people or kill 8 people like I was almost expecting in this war scenario to make it a great conclusion of a great arc. And it was just, and you know, this season, I think we can all agree, was quite a turbulent season with the death of Carl and where that's going to lead the future of the show, and some not so great episodes in the former half of the season, the first 8 episodes. So it was a very turbulent season, and it was very important that they had a good conclusion to this season. And mainly what I was worried about is Rick killing Negan. And as much as a fan of the show, as someone who is a fan of the Alexandrians and is a fan of Rick, yeah, I would love to see Negan die at some points, but it would not make sense for Rick's character. It would be terrible writing if they killed Negan, and it would just overall leave kind of a sour taste in your mouth. As, I mean, would Rick really be the good guy at that point if he slaughtered all the Saviors and killed Negan and showed no mercy, even after his son, the person who is importantly the most important person in the world for him, the person that we believe that was so, that he was that important to Rick, told him not to? Would it make sense? I mean, you could justify him killing Negan, I guess, but it just, I was so worried about it, and it was just a deep sigh of relief that they didn't kill Negan off, not only for the story, but because Jeffrey Dean Morgan, regardless of what anyone says about the character of Negan, Jeffrey Dean Morgan is a just terrific actor, so the more they can keep him on the show, the better. Now, keep in mind, during this discussion and my predictions that I'm going to get to through Season 9, I am not a comic book fan. I haven't read the comic books. I do plan on trying to read them eventually, but as of now, I've never read a single Walking Dead comic.
That is blasphemous!
So keep that in mind. But going on for some general thoughts of the episode, Andrew Lincoln's acting this season just has been really, really a high point for me. The Walking Dead, one of the criticisms is, sure, it's top-heavy for talent and actors, but going down the line, there's some weaker actors, and it was just great seeing Andrew Lincoln, Rick's speech after he won the war against Negan. It was such a great speech of unity, and it almost brings tears to your eyes. And then at the beginning as well, after he's reading Carl's letter and he talks to Sadiq, it was really well done, and he's one of my favorite actors of all time, if not my favorite, so it was just great to see him displayed in that light. Also, Carl's death, let's talk about that. A lot of people were questioning if that was going to affect the future of the show in a negative way. And I think, although Carl apparently in the comic book is involved in a lot of the stories going down the line, is what I've heard, I think they found a new way to move on from Carl, and they almost wrapped the season up as if, like, these 8 seasons, these are about Carl. Let's move on. This is going to be completely new. And I think the ending with the Maggie, Jesus, and Daryl scene, which wasn't my favorite, I understand it from Maggie's point of view, why she, maybe I guess if you guys are listening to this and you haven't seen it for whatever reason, Maggie is not okay with the decision that Rick made to save Negan, and Daryl isn't either. So at the end of the episode, they kind of leave off with this ominous music and a really well shot scene, really dark scene that portrays Maggie as almost a villain, and Daryl as well. Jesus is there too, but I'll get into Jesus later when we talk about some predictions. But we just see some storylines that are already set up for season 9 that we've been interested in about, but we haven't really been able to focus on because of the war. And now we get to explore these storylines, like Georgie and the helicopters, if they're related at all, or if they're two completely separate things. Also, I've heard talk about a group called the Whisperers. I have no idea what they are, but I mean, a name like the Whisperers is very intriguing. Apparently, it's a comic book arc. And then now we got this almost a possible Civil War arc that could be coming up, which is pretty exciting. To see characters like Maggie and Daryl kind of going against Rick, and we see how great of a leader Maggie is, so she might have some weight to throw around. And just overall, my opinion of this season 8 finale and how Eugene was victorious and how Gabriel's words really spoke to him, they really wrapped it up all very nicely to make some of these episodes that were in the early half of season 8, like you know, the episode with Eugene and Gabriel, where Gabriel basically we realized convinced Eugene to fight with Rick and help stop Negan's tyranny. All these episodes now make sense. It wasn't just random fluff thrown around. They all tied up to a really great package to end the all-out war. And if you didn't like it, tell me why. I'm really happy they didn't do the easy way out and make it exciting by killing off 3 different characters for God knows what reason. So great job to the writers there, and I'm excited for the next step. Okay, so I got multiple predictions here. Not necessarily predictions, but more just like hopes and kind of predictions for season 9. So the first one I have is, we already kind of discussed it. Maybe, I hope it's not the whole season, but with that last scene with Maggie and Daryl, setting up sort of like a Civil War kind of thing, a big dispute that's going to be coming. And I wouldn't like to see that be the main story of season 9, but I hope they do focus a couple episodes on that starting off the season, just because it would be something a little bit different, something to be almost a little refreshing to see. So that's a really interesting thing to think of. And like I said, Maggie, she's a powerful leader. She a lot of times has been a better leader than Rick, so she does have some weight to throw around. But I think going on to that part of the prediction part is Jesus was sitting in on the meeting with Daryl and Maggie. Now, unless they're just brain-dead idiots writing this, I can promise you Jesus is not going to be for this. The whole time he's been a moral compass. He's been someone who is not about killing, would probably be all on board with saving Negan. He's not going to be for this, and I think maybe he's going to sit on these conversations with Maggie, make her believe that he's with her just because she's a great leader and he respects her, which I'm sure he does, but I cannot imagine he'd be okay with this, and I think he's going to go to Rick. I think he's going to be some sort of mole, some kind of spy for Rick, and just let him know, like, hey, Daryl and Maggie, yeah, you got a problem on your hands. So that's my prediction there. I really hope they don't make him evil. Doesn't make any sense. Not evil, but you know what I mean. I hope they don't make him cynical or wanting to kill, because he is a moral compass character. That's how he is. So, I mean, I don't know what they're going to do, but I would almost 100% predict that Jesus is going to be on Rick's side if there is a Civil War sort of thing going out between the groups. So the next prediction I have is going to be, or not prediction, really just hope. I'm excited to see some Negan storylines now that they're not fighting him and that he's in the group, and see his reactions with the Alexandrians, who's going to just despise him, who's going to try to connect with him similar to something that Carl did, and all that. It's going to be really exciting to see that. Like I said, I've never read the comic books, but I've heard in the comic books there's a lot of stuff between Negan and Carl. So obviously that's scrapped, so the writers are going to have to come up with a lot of things on their own. But I'm just interested to see how involved he's still going to be with the story. I think he'll be minorly involved. I don't see him like escaping or, you know, coming back to. I think he's going to be an Alexandrian. I think Rick's going to help him, because I think it's clear that Negan isn't as bad as we thought. A lot of the terrible things that the Saviors did, Negan did do some terrible things, but so does Rick. And the whole point of saving him is that everybody is worth it. Everybody's salvageable. And I think Negan will become a loyal Alexandrian eventually. I don't know if he'll sit and rot in a prison cell for his whole life or if that's all we're going to see him. I think for this season he'll only be in the prison cell, but you know, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see the stories we get to see with Negan, and with Jeffrey Dean Morgan's great acting, it'll be good to see the relationships he forms with some of the Alexandrians, be it negative or positive. Alright, now this is an awesome one I'm thinking about, because just thinking in the directions that Season 9 could go, I don't think we're going to see this huge conflict. We're going to see something a little bit more tight-knit, tight-packed, where it's not like this is the end of life, this is the end of times kind of deal. It's kind of more individual problems, individual drama, more family drama, interior drama that's going to be going on in Season 9. I think they're going to scale it back from the all-out war. And I'm excited for that because it's kind of a breath of fresh air, and it's going to take us back to what The Walking Dead used to be. Not saying The Walking Dead's a bad show now, but it's a way different show. And I think a lot of the actors who are talented, like Melissa McBride as Carol, Andrew Lincoln, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, are going to do a really great job in a more tight-knit story. And I think we're going to be going back to that. I think they're going to scale it back at least for this season. So I'm really looking forward. I think this season's going to have like a Season 2 or Season 3 feel where, you know, they're all building the civilization and, you know, drama happens here and there and here and there, and it's exciting, but it's not a war. And it doesn't need to be a war, because sometimes it's just more entertaining to see the everyday lives of these people trying to survive an apocalypse and how their relationships develop and build and deteriorate. So I think that's a huge prediction for Season 9. I think that's something that's going to bring a lot of people back to the show and bringing them back to loving the show, because we have so many new characters we can follow as well that are really talented performers. So I'm excited for that. So the last two things I got to talk about with you is just kind of predictions, open ends, just my thoughts on a couple things that I think we've all been paying attention to and just been left open. There are a lot of open ends here. So first of all, the helicopters. I thought it was going to have something to do with the Fear the Walking Dead crossover. I was wrong. I think it definitely has to do with Georgie then and her society she's running, so I'm just interested to see how that plays out. Go ahead in the comments below right now. Go leave me your predictions. If you do read the comic books, give me some educated guesses on that as well. So excited for that, to see Georgie come back, because I'm almost positive she will. She's a great actor or actress and a great character already, and just in the 5 minutes of fame she had, aside from her stupid sidekicks telling dumbass jokes. But other than that, she's a good character, so I think she might have something to do with the helicopters. Also, Jadis, jeez, I forget her real name. I know her real name's not Jadis, but we'll call her Jadis. Pollyanna McIntosh's character. One of my favorite characters in the show. She's obviously going to be joining the Alexandrians, and she knows something about that, so maybe we'll get some insight on that sense. Speaking of Pollyanna McIntosh's character, I just want to say how happy I am that she survived this all-out war. I was a little worried. Another character I'm very happy survived is Dwight Austin Emilio. He is, man, yeah, I have a little bit of a personal story just because I met him, but he is such a good actor. He is such a good character, and I can't wait to see what they do with his story. So I'm glad he's alive. I'm glad Daryl didn't do anything stupid, even though he kind of did by outcasting him. But I'm sure we'll follow Dwight's story, and we'll follow Jadis' story, and I'm just excited to see where those characters go, because like I said, I think we're going to get more of that tight-knit feel of a Season 2, but we have all this talent that's been thrown in, like Jeffrey Dean Morgan and Pollyanna McIntosh, Austin Emilio. Now we got the great acting of Josh McDermott back, too, with Eugene, so it's gonna be a fun Season 9. Super excited. I'm thinking about doing a revisiting The Walking Dead series here, just where I don't know if it'll so much be a reaction, but just me going through. I do own all the DVDs, so we can go through, listen to the commentary that's provided on those DVDs, some of the extra scenes, and just revisit what is such a masterful show, and revisit the first 8 seasons. So something we're thinking of. But thank you so much, guys, for stopping to watch this little video on The Walking Dead. Please, 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 my favorite part of videos like this is the discussion aspect. And really right now all I'm doing is talking to a camera. So I need you to get down there in the comments. Let me know what you think of The Walking Dead. Positive or negative, just keep it civil. Let me know what you thought of the finale, and let me know what you are hoping for Season 9 and what they need to do in order to get the series a little bit back on track, because I know it has lost a little bit of steam. But anyways, guys, thank you so much. Thank you so very much for watching this. I love you. Peace. I'm out of here.
I've been busy working all night, and I'm telling everybody I'ma get it right. They know what I'm living like. I've been busy going all out, and